Can you gift your IRA? Hey everyone, Adam Bergman here, tax attorney, founder of IRA Financial. So if you're one of the 60 million individuals in America that has an IRA, guess what? You cannot gift your IRA to a spouse or to a child or to a family member. How do you pass an IRA onto a loved one? Well, unfortunately, you have two ways. The first is not the best way, and that's death. If you pass, your IRA will go to the primary beneficiary of your IRA, which you can select, and that is generally a spouse. If the spouse is under 70 years old, or under 72, I should say, then the spouse can put the IRA in his or her name and then treat the IRA as his or her own without any required minimum distributions in the case of a pre-tax IRA. If the surviving spouse is over the age of 72, they will have to take required minimum distributions. Now, if you have a non-spouse as a primary beneficiary, that non-spouse, i.e. child, has 10 years to take the money out. There's no longer the opportunity to stretch. So death is the first way that you can leave an IRA to someone. The second is really taking a distribution. So if your kids need money and your IRA is a large source of your wealth, you could take a taxable distribution. The IRA will no longer be valid. The IRA will in essence die, but you will have the cash that you can gift to a child or a spouse. So death or a distribution are really the only two ways that you can pass IRA wealth to a third party. Remember, through death, you have to take into account whether the beneficiary is a spouse or a non-spouse. Spouse can put the IRA in his or her name. Non-spouse has 10 years to pull that money out. Whereas if you take a taxable distribution, if you're under 59 and a half, the distribution will be subject to tax and a 10% penalty. Or if you're over 59 and a half, the IRA distribution will be subject just to tax. In the case of a Roth IRA, contributions can be taken out at any time with no tax or 10% penalty. But if the Roth IRA is taken out before you reach the age of 59 and a half, and the Roth IRA has not been opened at least 5 years, then you're going to pay tax and a 10% penalty on the earnings from the Roth IRA contributions. And if you can wait till you're 59 and a half and the Roth's been open at least 5 years, then you can take a tax-free Roth IRA distribution and then pass those funds to a loved one, which is the closest you'll get to gifting your IRA.